If you don't want, go and hang yourself in a transformer. Yes. If you're angry, go and hang yourself. He said there are no schools. He said there are no hospitals. You as a legislator, what have you done? I challenge that legislator, if you are very, very popular, 2027, come and run under Abuja. We will fail you. You think that what happened last time will happen again?
Where else in the world will a serving minister be talking down in such a derogatory manner to a serving senator? Only in Nigeria will Wike be telling a senator to go and hug transformer simply because the senator said he is not working. He's so pained about the remark that he had to resort to insults, as if he is beyond reproach. No one is. And he went to the extent of telling the senator that they will make sure she doesn't return to office in 2027. Who is demarketing Nigeria in this situation? Or is it only when opposition points out what the government is doing wrong that they tell them they are demarketing the country? Isn't it shameless that a Nigerian minister is commissioning a car park? Ordinary car park that a local government chairman wouldn't even bother to go and commission by himself. He will simply send an aide to go and cut the tape. But here we are, a minister, invited the world, hired canopies, hired microphones, invited the press, and is singing his own praises, telling the world how they operate in Nigeria, that they can determine who wins election, despite the fact that in our own democracy, every person is supposed to have one vote, but is making it obvious that this is a rigorous paradise and they can get away with it, they can do whatever they want, no consequences. Remember that this same man, after all the bragging during the presidential election, that was when he was still the governor of Rivers State, he still ended up losing his polling unit to Labour Party. He didn't stop there, he lost his local government area of Obiakpo local government area. He also lost the entire Rivers State to Labour Party. Pained by the humiliation on that day, he had to deploy thugs and policemen to trash the entire election.
Police don't come snatch our ballot box.
You can see in the video, they were trashing all the ballots. They invaded all the polling units in their bid to rig the election in favor of APC. It took several days for the election to be announced. While they were announcing the results at Abuja, the Irev portal of INEC, where they are supposed to be uploading results, was telling a different thing. It was showing a different election. Many media houses verified it, BBC verified it, Premium Times, many media houses in Nigeria. The results are still there today. Labour Party won in Rivers State and INEC announced something entirely different. So Wike thinks that he can repeat what he did in Rivers State during the presidential election in Abuja. It will not work. Abuja has the highest concentration of educated and enlightened people in Nigeria. It is the federal capital, of course. So he will still be humbled in due time. Anyway, why did he respond in such a manner? We know he's the kind of person that behaves like a thug. Two things are clear. One is that they say clear conscience fears no accusation. If you know you didn't do anything wrong, why react in such a manner? You simply correct the person and show what you're doing. The senator simply called him out and said, my constituents are complaining that there is no water, ordinary drinking water in many communities in FCT. What are you doing about it? In fact, a market got burnt the other day simply because there was no water to quench the fire. There's no water around the area, so the firemen couldn't fight the fire. Imagine getting water several kilometers away to come back and fight fire. How are you going to fight the fire? The fire will burn down everything.
Wike is boasting that because he's doing tie roads that were already tied. Some of these roads that Wike has scraped in both in Makama, and there are no roads in Nyanya, there are no roads in Karo, there are no roads in Kerishi, there are no roads in Kuba, there are no roads in Gwabalada. Even the road, the ones he completed were what Bello has been doing. And alone on those ones, he collected about 1.2 trillion. 1.2 trillion. Because there's no accountability in Nigeria. That's why most people don't know what is going on.
So this is the problem many residents of Abuja are facing. Instead of him addressing these issues, he's busy raining insults. He's busy scraping roads and resurfacing them in Maitama and Asokoro, as if these are the only areas in Abuja. The second reason is that Wike might be a misogynist. It's very possible. If you look at the running battle he has had with the governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubara, Wike has never talked to him in such a condescending manner. Yes, despite the fact that the senator doesn't want to accept that Wike is trying to bully her because she's a woman, it seems that she's trying to be politically correct. Look at the exchange she had with the Senate President Akpabio on the Senate floor.
Though I am in the Committee of the Federal Capital Territory, whenever matters, critical matters like budget or anything to do with the FCT is being discussed, I am never told. All I see is that it has been brought to the Senate. Sir, in the Federal Capital Territory...
No, the civil senator, Ireti.
Please, may I finish speaking?
The order you are referring to.
You can see they are all bullies, serious abuse of power. Because one is number 3 man in the country, he's treating a fellow senator as if the person is below him, as if he's a god. Compare their exchange to the exchange between Akpabio and the senator representing Anambra North Senatorial District.
The way you elected was the way you were elected. And we are slaves. How else you can suspend me here? And we are slaves. Every time you keep on picking leadership for us. We are not your slaves. Whether you like it or not, the way you elected was the way we elected. We are not your slaves. The way you elected was the way we elected. How else you can suspend me?
You can see he met his match, a fellow man. He was shouting back at him, you can't appoint someone of questionable character as the minority leader. So you can see the bar is very low. You must meet a certain character, the lowest of the character, in order to belong to their party. That's why they don't understand governance. The party is just a means to get to office. Immediately you get to office, you drop everything concerning partisan politics and face governance. Governance shouldn't suffer because of party politics. You are saying that you don't want to meet the woman, you don't want to talk to her, you want to avoid her, that she will not come back, she will not return as the senator representing the FCT. And governance is suffering. People are suffering in Abuja, they don't have water. When her constituents call her and say, madam, we don't have water here, or what are you people doing? And she will call Wike because Wike is from the executive branch who got a budget of 1.3 trillion to execute projects for this year. So the woman is simply doing her job. And for those who keep comparing Senator Ireti with Wike, you can't compare the two. First of all, we have 3 arms of government: the legislative arm, the executive arm, and the judiciary arm. The work of a legislator is to make laws, pass budgets, and conduct oversight functions on the executive branch. If they pass budget, they will conduct oversight functions to make sure that the budget is followed to the letter. They also fight hard in the Senate to make sure that projects are attracted to their constituencies. That's how it works. Never mind the fact that the Nigerian National Assembly found a way to include constituency projects. It's illegal, but they're doing it anyway. And you can't still compare the 500 million naira they receive annually for constituency projects to the billions and trillions the executive branch receives. It's just like in the State House of Assembly. Of course, these constituency projects issues are only in the National Assembly. You don't hear that in the states. Take a state assembly member, for instance. How much in projects is he going to execute in his constituency compared to a commissioner who comes from the same constituency? Of course, the commissioner wouldn't execute that project directly by himself. And the fact that he's doing it, it still falls under the governor's domain because he is the one that will decide where this road will be built, where this factory will be built, where this training center, where this school. That's how it works. So it's not the job of a senator to be executing projects, especially in the FCT. It is the job of the executive branch. And in this case, Senator Ireti called Wike. She tried many times to communicate with him, but he refused to communicate or acknowledge the communications. She now went on national television, on Channels TV, and called him out. That's why he started raining insults on her.
In that budget of 98, only 18 billion has anything to do with the people. 20 billion for renovating 20 schools. Now, everything else, we're building a road to EFCC or another one to DSS and all those things. Please, with all due respect, those roads may need renovating. Maybe the road to the presidential wing all need work. I am saying that for an impoverished nation, for a territory where insecurity is so high, we have so many issues and we don't have the funds to do them. So in the bid to prioritize, I think that the needs of the people, that is the majority of the people, healthcare, education, security, and water. Water, as basic as water, we do not have. So I'm not saying that those things, we can do them when we are more liquid, but we are not. Those are my issues.
So you can see, because of partisan politics, governance is suffering. Nigerians are bearing the brunt. Instead of them to work together so that good governance will be delivered to Nigerian people, they are doing party politics and pettiness. Why not acknowledge communication from a serving senator? Even an ordinary citizen in Abuja has the right to come and drop a petition at his office and say, we need this here, we need this here, come to our help. They are tax-paying citizens. So why shouldn't he acknowledge a communication coming from a senator? If he can't acknowledge that, how is he going to treat a resident in the FCT? The senator needs to call a town hall meeting in the FCT and educate her constituents. She needs to make it clear what's in the budget that was passed for the FCT, what projects are expected to be executed by the Ministry of the FCT. She needs to make all this clear so that people wouldn't be expecting her to be building roads. No, that's not her job. Her job is not to provide water, especially when the executive branch has received a budget for that. Her job is to hold them to account, which she's already doing, but they are refusing communications, excommunicating her because she's not from their party. It's as simple as that. So she has to go down to her constituents and make these things clear so that they will not start blaming her, start saying, what is she doing for us? Wike is doing better than she is. No, they are not in competition. They should hold Wike to account because he has received a budget of more than 1 trillion naira for this year alone. He even came back for a supplementary budget of 98 billion naira. Thanks for watching.